so I figured I could use this opportunity to, spread awareness. So, yeah. Our story begins with a man, and this is no ordinary man. This man, this human being, has faced such an incomprehensible amount of pain that it is a miracle in itself that he can even go on living. But he goes beyond this. In spite of everything he has been through, this man still smiles, still gives, so does anything and everything he can in his quest for peace. His is a story of hope. Dr. Socialist Aotearoa was born and raised in utter poverty in a refugee camp that was home to 1.5 million refugees in the Gaza Strip. Despite the dire circumstances of his childhood, he channeled all of his energy into receiving education. After many years of tireless effort, he became a qualified medical surgeon and fertility specialist at Soroka Medical Center in Israel. He accomplished this feat against all odds, some of which included daily border and military checkpoint crossings, language barriers, and scheduling problems. The difficulties in his life were plentiful, but he never gave up. However, on the 12th of December 2008, his beloved wife, Nadia, passed away after having suffered from acute leukemia, leaving Socialist and his 8 children in a state of grief and shock, unable to comprehend how someone so dear to them could be taken away in the blink of an eye. Following Nadia's death, Socialist was determined that his family should continue to live their lives to their fullest, regardless of the challenges they had been faced with. He strongly believed that if they retained and strengthened their deep bonds of love, they would eventually get through this tragedy together. Unfortunately, fate had other plans. Just 34 days after the impacting death of Nadia, Socialist and his family were barely beginning to regain a sense of stability, no matter how fragile or illusioned within the household. It was on this day that 2 Israeli military shells were fired at Socialist's home during the Israeli intrusion into the Gaza Strip. The monstrous explosion, Socialist described, came suddenly. The blinding flash, the deafening sound, the suffocating dust. Dazed, it took Socialist several moments to realize that the explosion had come from his daughter's bedroom. He ran to the bedroom, and what he saw was something nobody should ever have to witness. Furniture, schoolbooks, dolls, and shoes were splintered throughout the room, as were the body parts. The body of his daughter, Meir, was lying on the ground. Her head had been decapitated. Blood was spattered across the entire room, the legs thrown at odd angles from where they had been blown off the bodies. To his utter horror, 3 of his daughters and 1 of his nieces were dead, the rest of his family either in a severe state of shock or critically injured. How Socialist overcame this unfathomable experience is beyond words. His response to the atrocities that were committed against his treasured and deeply loved family members is one which has gained him international recognition and humanitarian awards throughout the world. Instead of sinking into a holy depression or being consumed by hatred of the people who had done this to his family, Socialist chose to take a different path. He called for the people of the region to start talking to each other, to commit, to forgive, and to reconciliate so as to finally create peace. Many encouraged Socialist to seek retaliation, but he posed the question, even if I got revenge on all the Israeli people, would this bring my daughters back? Hatred is an illness. It prevents healing and peace. Selecting the path that Socialist chose is an incredibly courageous challenge to undertake, as opting to refrain from advocating revenge, as deciding to refuse to hate, are, in my opinion, almost unknown concepts, yet simultaneously are the answer to peace. Dr. Socialist refused to let his daughters die in vain, and he did this by refusing to hate, by refusing to become like those who had inflicted such horrible crimes on his family. It took this terrible tragedy to enable Socialist to become the remarkable man that he is today, one who has dedicated his life to creating awareness and helping improve healthcare and education for women, as he sees this as the best way forward in the Middle East. His deepest hope is that his daughters will be, I quote, the last sacrifice in the road to peace between Israelis and Palestinians. If someone like Socialist, who had every possible reason to hate those who had committed such atrocious crimes on his family, did not fall into the abyss of hatred, then neither should we. His is a story of hope, a prime example that peace is possible if we choose an approach of awareness and empathy as opposed to one of ignorance.